Okay guys, welcome back to another quick revision session with me, Dr. Octobeard. Today we're looking at layout and narrative with magazine covers, and I'm going to show you how to get a guaranteed grade 9. Not a guarantee. So let's get stuck in. One of the many things they sometimes ask in analysis questions is how the elements on the page make meaning. This is a fancy way of asking how we, the audience, can tell what is going on when we look at the page. One of the theories I often use to analyse print work is Kress and van Leeuwen's theory of layout. These guys looked at the ways in which images tell stories, analysing everything from classical art to modern day adverts. You can get pretty in-depth with this stuff, but the in a nutshell version is that the top left of the image is where you put the information that is most familiar and least threatening to the audience. This area they call the ideal given, and it assumes that the reader is looking here first for the sorts of things they would expect to find in the magazine and the sorts of things that make them feel positive about their reading experience. The bottom right, by contrast, is the real new. This is where you put the least familiar and the most contentious information. The sorts of things that people might not expect to find in this sort of magazine, or that might challenge their sense of who they are.
Yeah.
I have the nails.
Yeah, get after it. You got the globes too.
Once we know that these areas can be used in this way, we can also use them to make some generalizations about what sorts of things the audience finds more or less acceptable. If we look at these two areas on the close study products, we can see that Tatler puts Most Invited 2017 in the ideal given section. This suggests that its audience is interested in the social scene, parties, and a who's hot, who's not rundown of high-class party guest lists. This is in keeping with the magazine's ABC1 target audience. By contrast, Reveal puts its low price of just 99p in the ideal given section, positioning itself as a budget magazine and appealing more to its C1-C2D target audience. Tatler puts its story about the 1 month gap year in the real new section. This might be because of the admission that you won't get much sleep, and that this is generally a negative thing that might put readers off, no matter how much fun they might have. The real new section of Reveal is packed with stories about babies, which offers threats to its audience possibly, as babies and family life signal an end to the sorts of independence implied in the love relationship stories of Katie and Pete and Lauren and Joey. The word posh, similarly, is not something identified with the C1-C2D audience of Reveal, and provides a direct contrast point with that same word on the cover of Tatler, which most definitely does associate itself with a posh readership. So by using Kress and van Leeuwen's theory, we can talk about how these two magazines position the reader with regards to their content, and how they make meaning with regards to the stories on their front pages.
Enough time for one more story.
On the subject of stories, one of the things that the exam board has been pushing is the way the front covers deliver narrative, and particularly how you can use Propp's theory of narrative to analyse a front cover. Now, there may be those of us in the profession that think this is ridiculous, but I think I've come up with a pretty good way to do this. Propp's theory of narrative, for those of you who don't know, states that stories are driven forward by the interactions between 8 spheres of action. He called them spheres of action, but they are usually characters. So, for example, the hero may go on a quest towards some sort of goal, also called a princess, since frequently the hero would be rescuing a princess.
People of Duloc, I give you our champion!
He will be dispatched on his quest by someone in the know.
You've won the honor of embarking on a great and noble quest.
Quest? I'm already on a quest. A quest to get my swamp back.
And might be helped along the way by someone else.
It's just a donkey.
Important objects might be donated to him. and he will have to overcome the well-meaning father who puts obstacles in his way to test him.
Bachelorette number 3 is a fiery redhead from a dragon-guarded castle surrounded by hot, boiling lava.
The evil villain who outright wants him to fail.
Donkey, look out!
And the treacherous false hero who takes credit for the hero's moves.
Go on this quest for me, and I'll give you your swamp back.
These characters are easy to identify in something like a film, but they can be a lot harder in something like a magazine cover. But we really only need 3 of Propp's spheres of action. The reader of the magazine is the hero. They are helped towards their goal by an array of celebrities and personalities on the front cover. So all we really need to understand in order to use Propp to analyse the front cover is what these different goals are. In order to understand what sorts of goals are available, it might be useful for us to look at another theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, also known as Maslow's pyramid. At the bottom of the pyramid we have physiological needs, water, food, shelter, air, those sorts of things. Above that we have safety and security, love and belonging, self-esteem and self-respect, and finally self-actualization, living our best life.
I'm living my best life.
If these are the possible goals that we, the hero, can be helped towards, then it's easy to see who our helpers are. On the cover of Tatler, we're helped towards our esteem goals with the fashion example of Georgina Bevan. James Corden and his Aristo buddies, yes, really, help us towards our self-actualization goals. We too can become aristocrats.
Everybody wants to be.
I said aristocrats. On the cover of Reveal, Lauren is helping us out with our love and belonging needs, and we just have to see how her story unfolds, so we can compare our life with hers. Scarlett and Kelly Brook are helping us with our physiological needs by telling us to stuff the diet. In this respect, both magazines help us, the hero, to pursue our princess, our life goals.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
You got the globes, too.